Hey everybody, it's EJ from eyedesyn.com. Today we're going to be making a gummy bear and then we're going to create some little gummy textures to apply to it. So let's start off with doing a little bit of modeling first. So when I model little characters, if you follow some of the stuff I've been doing, it's the one thing you got to get used to is box modeling. So box modeling is usually how I start all of my characters. So I always start out with a cube. And what you want to do is go to the lines, shading lines, so you can actually see what's going on here as you add segments here. And you want to start out usually 4x4x4, all depending on what you're making. But for this little gummy bear dude, I'll just do 4x4x4. And then what I'm going to do is make this editable. And instead of having to, if I add an ear over here, I'd have to add an ear on the left side as well. I'm going to get rid of that issue by going to polygon mode here. I'm just going to delete half of my polygons. And I need to make sure I deselect this, only select visible elements. And I'm going to delete all of those polygons on that side. All right. So what I'm going to do instead is a little workflow booster. Is instead of having to do create ears and features on both sides, I'm just going to use a symmetry object. And what that's going to do is just create the left side of my little gummy bear. And so now I can work here and move stuff, and it will be mirrored on either side. All right, so the next thing I want to do is I need to round everything off so I can see how this is going to be all smoothed out. So I'm going to put that symmetry underneath the subdivision surface, and now I can really start working here. So let's see. Let's first round out my object here. So we want to get the face going here. And you can see that I have some points over here. I need to get rid of those. I can get rid of those by going to commands, and you just select my cube, go to commands, optimize, and that should get rid of all the, get all these points and optimize, and that should clean up all of our points. There we go. They're all gone. So those were left over from the polygons I deleted. So sometimes you need to do a little bit of maintenance there. So let's go on this back side here. And I'm using all 4 angles to make sure I have a nice round piece of geometry here for the little gummy bear head. I'm going to get this point and this point. This point. And this point, and just kind of move this in. You can start to see a little bit of round stuff going on. You can see that everything getting mirrored there. And actually, let's see. I need to get these points, move them in. We're getting a little bit of a round head. You can start to see it forming. Just kind of like sculpting it here. Get this point and top point. Do this. Grab these and shrink them. Right now I'm just shaping and forming, slowly but surely, my teddy bear head. Cool. So now we got a general general feel for the head. Now we can start adding features like, let's start with like an ear, and let's actually make sure that the ear area is going to be kind of flat. Let's select, do a loop selection here, or that loop selection is really not working. I just want to get this line or edge and just scale it up a teeny bit. Go. And all right, so let's get our ear. So I'm going to select both of these polygons, and let's just let's just do an extrude. Extrude this out. Hey, it's an ear. Look at that. And I'm just going to scale this down. And really what you could do, you could either do it that way, or so let me just go forward. You can notice that this really doesn't have some nice definition, or it's just very smooth transition from the head to the ear. If I wanted to tighten that and make more of a seam here, I could have just done an inner extrude. So I just hit MW, and if I do an inner extrude here, I get this nice sharp edge, and then I can extrude, hit MT and extrude, and you can see I have more definition here. I have a tighter curve due to adding that extra cut. So it all depends on like how you want to build, or how much smoothness or how much sharp of a transition you want from the head to the ear. And I actually like that transition, the sharper transition there. So I'm just gonna, let's open this up a little bit here. And let's see. Tweak some things here. Move stuff here, move these points here. And here's my side view, so I can always go in here and shrink the ears like that. And I can go in here, and if I want to create like the little inner ear, I can do inner extrude. Oops, MW, inner extrude. There we go. There's the inner extrude. And then do an extrude. And there's my little ear. And this is very crude. A very crude model, but hey. I'm not the master of modeling. I don't claim to be, but hopefully you gain a little bit of insight from me kind of farting around here. So let's move this ear up. We can even make it bigger if we want to. And here we go. Now we can add a little bit more roundness to the side here, grabbing these points. That. And there you go. Want to keep everything nice and round here. You can see how really having this the symmetry object is really helping. So you only need to make edits on like one side. Kind of adjusting the shape of this, and I can also line these back up again by selecting all the points in a row on the x-axis here, and just go into Y and just straighten those out. And I can do the same thing here. So just line them up, zeroing out the Y. So these are all nice and uniform if you get too crazy with it. All right, so let's make, so we got the ears, very crude ears. And we can now make the snout. So here's like where the eye will be. Here's where the snout will be. So I'm just gonna do a couple extrudes, I think. So I'll do MT extrude, and you're gonna notice that now he has like buck teeth coming out of his face. And this is because we have that symmetry and we have this extra edge here. So to fix that, we need to go in here, delete that edge, and then I need to make sure, the reason why the symmetry works is I have this tolerance set, so it basically melds or welds points that are close to each other and melds them into one mesh. So if I crank this tolerance up enough, it's gonna snap and connect those points together. But if you crank it up too high, you can start to see that really get some funky stuff going on. So you usually don't want to touch that too much. But to fix that, all I need to do is grab these points and make sure they're on, just lined up to 0 on the X, and that will weld that stuff together. That's looking good. And then I can also zero that out in the X, and that'll make that that polygon flat. I can move this. So we can have that snout be like that, or we can extrude again. Let's actually zero out this and extrude again. And again, you're seeing that we have a sharper transition from the face to the snout. I can do a loop selection. Actually, let's just grab the edge here, move this back. And you can see that when I bring that edge back, it sharpens this edge back here. So you might want that. And we'll shrink this down. And let's see. Gotta move this point because again, we're getting that weird issue happening. Do I have an extra edge here? Let's see. Yep, that edge is back. I need to delete that edge again. When I extrude it again, that kind of caused that issue. Go in here. Sorry, I'm barking. That's my dog. Go in here. And again, we want to zero out that X. And there we go. There's our little snout. We can make this bigger. Now make this snout whatever size we want. Like so. Let's actually make the snout way bigger. This is too small of a snout. I need to just get these, both these, make this bigger, move these points over. There we go. That's a much bigger snout. He's gonna have a big mouth. There we go. Looking good. And again, I can shrink this part to kind of round out his snout. You can select these edges here. So you can see in the side, I can shrink these. Whoop. Actually, you notice when I shrink, it's going to create that gap. So I need to be careful there. So if I want to shrink that, I can shrink on the Y, and then to shrink on the X, I gotta deselect those points and just move these over. There we go. There's our mouth snout thing. Now we can do the eyeballs. And what I could do is I could either just throw, like, I could be cheap about it and throw a sphere here. And that could be a very easy eyeball. But you know what? Let's try not to cheat. Let's actually give this a go and see if I can make an eyeball here. There's where an eye would be. I'm going to do an inner extrude and an extrude and scale. And let's see. There's some, that's an eyeball, right? So you can barely see it. So let's actually move this out a little bit more. Scale this down a little bit. Man, this bear looks really crappy, but hey. There we go. There's the bear. We can make those eyes even bigger if we want by selecting all this. Scaling stuff up. You notice I'm scaling the back as well because I'm not paying attention very well. But you always got to be careful when you're selecting stuff to really be careful at what you're selecting, not selecting the back side of something too. I do that all the time. All the time. Okay, so there's our eyes. And let's actually make these ears a little bit bigger. Gummy bears have very big eyes, right? Get my reference image here. Here's my little reference image I got. Well, I just closed that window, so never mind. There goes the reference image. Let's rotate this. We can rotate this a little off to the side here. I just want to shrink the top of the ear here, so I'll just grab polygons towards the top and shrink it like that. What I need to do is fix some of this stuff in here because you can see right here. See right here how we don't have a nice rounding, or at least before we didn't. Trying to round and smooth out this area so it's not such a sharp, weird seam. You can see over here, especially on this side, looks like a dent. Doesn't look very good. I just need to go in here and tweak some stuff. So grab these 2 points. Just start to smooth stuff out here. A little better. So what I need to do is like make some cuts here. Do that. I don't think I want to do that. Let's see if I can round this out a better way. Modeling is like a puzzle. It really is. I need to zero this out here because you can see that some of my points are not lined up exactly on 0 centimeters in the X. So I need to make sure that, or again, I'm going to have a gaping hole in my head. There you go. Just rounding all this stuff out. Ears are a little bit too high, bringing it back down. All right, so there's the face. There's my face of my bear. And see that I still have some smoothing out of some stuff to do. That's because of that eye that I added, the eyes that I added. So let's just move all this stuff out. Bear. That's a bear. And then what we can do, let's add, shrink this a little bit. We got the eyes, we got the nose, we got the little snout thing. Let's add, do a cut, a loop cut. So I got the snout, I don't have the nose. So get this, and I got the snout, and do a extrude. And again, we're gonna need to shut off the symmetry. Go in here, delete this extra polygon here. Boom. Delete that. Turn this back on, and move these points over. We have more of a snout. Go. Now we can move his eyes over here a little bit. Make sure everything's rounded. And I did something wrong here. I deleted a point. Remember how I said to keep track of your points? Because I just deleted something in the back here. But that's okay. We can bridge that up by going to the bridge tool and boom. Just close that right up. Like nothing happened. Always make sure you're not deleting things in the back of your model. No bueno. Now we're just gonna make sure, and I'm not in my above view, and you can see that we have some, gotta fix some things here so everything's nice and rounded out here. Move the snout up a little bit and shrink it a little bit. Moving part of his snout, and I don't want to do that. I want the eyes here. And select that snout. Move the eye. Make sure I'm not selecting anything I shouldn't be. Let's move all this. Move all this over. Okie dokie. Okay. That's looking pretty berry, right? Pretty berry. Let's go. I don't like the sharpness of how this this little indent in the ear is. So what I want to do is go in here. I want to select the inner extruded part here. I think is this, yeah. And I just want to shrink that down. You can see as I shrink that or move it back and forth, it's kind of making this either smoother or sharper. To see how sharp that is, and I don't like that. I want to smooth that out a little bit. So there we go. Little smoother. I can even move the bottom of this down if I want to. Cool. So here's, let's just do the gummy head, considering how long it took me to make this really dumb looking head. It's really not look good at all. So let's add like a gummy texture. Actually, you know, this, I'm just gonna stop recording. This thing looks like crap. This was bad. I'm sorry, guys. I wanted to make a gummy bear to texture it with a gummy material, but this is not looking good at all. I had way too much faith in my modeling skills. This is so bad. I just need to make a poop emoji. This is what this is. All right, well, I'm not recording this anymore, but hey, it's a retarded bear. I'll keep going though, but I think I'm just gonna do a separate tutorial with the texturing of the gummy thing, because this is just bad. So bad. Maybe I could for the texturing I could just do like a gummy lifesaver and be like, and there's my gummy lightsaber. It's Taurus. So all right, I'll finish modeling this disaster. So bad. All right, so really what I did, I started out with way too much geometry here. Usually I start with a less dense cube, but screw that. I can barely model. Oh, God, that's terrible. All right, so let's make the body here. So we'll select all this stuff and extrude all the way down. And again, we need to go in here, delete these newly created polygons, and again, make sure all of our polygons or points are lined up along 0 centimeters X. So I need to scale everything down. Need to make sure that everything's scaled down to 0, and then make sure it's 0 position. And now I can turn back on the symmetry, and there should be no more gaps. Cool, looking good. And I'm just gonna zero out the stuff in the Y, because what I need to do is extrude a little bit more here. I'm probably doing even this wrong. All this stuff. I'm just making the body right now. Let's more scale that. And now just got to make sure I go in and delete those polygons again. Select them all and delete. And move stuff down just to round out bottom here. And again, need to make sure all these points are again aligned on the X. Boom. And there we go. So now I can turn back on the symmetry, and there's the gummy. I just need to make this look good, and then I'll do a recording for the actual gummy thing. All right, well, hopefully, yeah, these techniques I'm using, I know so little, but hopefully this is kind of helpful, even though I feel like this is not I'm not the best person to be teaching modeling concepts. I accidentally closed my dang gummy bear. There we go. Gummy bear. Trying to get my reference back. What I wanted to do is something just like this. I like this style. Gummy. So I'm just gonna. Oh, gummy bear lamps. Oh, snap. I want one of them. Whoops. I lost. I'm just gonna do this. Dang it. The heck? Close. Get out of here. Alright. There's the gummy. I'm just gonna move it over here for me. You guys don't need to see it. And he really doesn't. They really don't have a neck, so. That. Oh, my modeling's terrible. My modeling skill deserves no credit. None at all. I need credit taken away. Make this. See again. Need to make sure I'm not moving anything in the back there. Moving this. Moving this. I totally did not model these eyes correctly at all. Actually, we know the little gummy bear here that I have. See this little gummy bear? They have little tiny cutesy eyes, which I think I want to do instead. The position of these eyes are just not ideal. See that? Yeah. So like I screwed this up from the get-go due to the fact that like my polygons just aren't in the right direction or in the right space that I need them to be. Now I screwed up the roundness of the eyes. Need to fix that. And I'm screwing stuff up back here. Dang it. Dang it. Look at all this. Look at all this crap. Look at all this. But hey, fix it. Zero out the X and then just boom. There we go. Now everything's aligned again. You can see when I select, when you think you're just selecting one point, you're also selecting stuff all over the place here. So you really got to be careful when you select stuff that you're really only selecting that one point. So you got to utilize all your views here. You really do. But you can even see. Need to smooth things out. Okay, so actually, you know, not terrible. We're not terrible. We're not too far off. We're not too bad. This is totally not how you should, like, I totally screwed up the base mesh, but we're not too far off. So let's do some more cleaning up here. And do some more cleaning up. See if we can get this looking halfway respectable. You know, sometimes you need to half-ass it first before you can get to the full-assing it. You know? And right now, I'm half-assing it. I just need to get the other half of the ass. So you can see that my ears are kind of flapping back. So I need to go here. Oh, Luminectrix, yeah, you need to drop some modeling skills on me and some tips, because you're the guy who knows. You made an awesome French horn. You're the master here. So configure the view to show selected poly points edges in the hood. So, how do you? I'm not sure. Can you explain that a little bit more about how you configure the view to show selected poly points edges in the hood? I need to go in here again and down. Okay. Cool. So I'm just looking at my reference over here. Just gonna, this part of his head's kind of sticking out too much. Need to straighten all this stuff out. Options, viewport, configure. You mean like view settings? Filter. Show selected. Selected polys tick boxes. I don't see that. I don't know. Oh, this? No. Oh, all this stuff. Oh, that, okay, I got you. So now when I'm selecting stuff, you're like, oh, I got way too much. This is what you're talking about? I can be like, hey, I want that 1 point, but if I select way too many, I know exactly how many I got. which is useful. I'll make sure I just want to select that one point. Good. All right. And for this, I got 3 points selected, which is what I want. Okay. Bear's coming along. I want to move his eyes down a little bit though, I think. Cool. Okay. All right. Oh, oh. See, I should have looked. I have way too many polygons selected. I had these ones. I was moving them. Doy. Move the. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Now up. Little. All right, so let's get to the arms. Oh yes, and using the Q key to go back and forth between enabling the subdivision surface, like Jake from Render Farm. All right, so we got. Let me bring up my little reference here. So we basically his arms are just like little bulges to the side. Same with his feet. So I'm wondering if I select like these points here and just extrude, if I can do that. So let's try that. Let's select these. Actually, just these points or polygons. Make sure we only have the 3. Probably get this one back here. And we will just extrude them out. And we can scale. And then what we can do is just kind of push and pull points around and make sure the arm is thicker towards the base, like where his shoulder is. So we can just easily go in here. And these points I need to move a little bit closer as the arm kind of tapers into the body. Move this up, make this bigger. Oh, I selected this. These. We've got 4 points selected. Go move this up. Move this down. You can see that kind of. So I mean, a lot of modeling is just understanding where to extrude, where to put points, how to basically get the kind of smooth mesh that you want by using the subdivision surface and you know, knowing what this needs to look like to get the right kind of smoothness on your object. So now this part is nice and smoothed out like I want it to be. Now we can start making this part of the arm thicker. Scale. I don't want to scale those, just scale this up. Scale. Got an extra point here. I need to deselect, scale these up. Really, I want to go in here. Kind of make this more of a curve. then, as far as this part, we can make this a little sharper. We move this in a little. So again, looking at my reference here, so like the arm's pretty fat. The arm's pretty fat and even meets up with the neck here. So I need to do that because right now it's not really meeting up with the neck. Whoops. So we can just move these points up more and move these up. Same with these. Even make his make these points here move them out. Probably need to do this in. Just kind of check in the roundness of everything here. This is my intense modeling face. So intense. Hard, guys. Modeling's hard. It's not like I mean, you know once you know the basics of like, I just feel like it takes a lot of repetition to get a feel for the process, because every modeling project's going to be so different and take some other different, like like I said, it's a puzzle. Every modeling thing has its own puzzle. You need to like figure out how to tackle it. So one thing I notice is he's got this little neck. You got the little neck line here. So to get that, what I can do is make a loop cut, like right about here. I need to make sure I don't restrict the selection. I don't want to do that. I just go like that. Select that, do a loop selection of that same cut. And I selected too much here. So I need to deselect these guys. I got the missing this one edge. There we go. And so now all you need to do is scale this in to get that little edge in there. And again, you'll notice I'm having a little bit of issue right here with the symmetry. So that's because I need to straighten everything out, make sure everything's on that 0 X axis. And because adding that new cut, I then tighten that part of the mesh. So now I have that nice crease, like neck crease. And I'll just move this down. Move this part down. And like for the snout here, I need to move this down because I need more definition. I need more of that crease for the snout because I was kind of losing that a little bit. You would get more definition by pushing this in, moving this up. You'll see as the points get further away, the smoother it gets, but the closer these points are, the more of a crease you have. And let's see, something's going on back here. Let's see what's going on. So just checking all these points. Let's turn off. Okay, so this was the issue. I had a point that was negative, had a value other than 0, just hit 0, and that should fix that little issue there. Cool. We are good. Let's here we go. Making his head a little bit more round. Hey, Paul. Yep. My really crappy modeling job, Gummy Bear. You bet, guys. I'm trying to half-ass a Gummy Bear here. Trying to make it not look so crappy. And look at, here's my reference. Working on the arms right now. Almost done with these arms. Go back in here. Whoops. Down. Again, I keep selecting points I don't mean to. Just making a little bit more of a bulge for the arm. So I'm just kind of moving these points, individual points out. That looks. Arm looks a little too fat. Arm looks a little fat. I need to round it out a little bit more. Let's continue pushing and pulling. Yeah, sculpting. Petri asked, how about a sculpting way? Yeah, probably sculpting would be better to like get the face features and stuff like that. Definitely, that would be a good method. That's looking better. Looking pretty good. So the one thing I do notice is that this is too smooth right here. So again, I want to make to get a sharper edge. I want to move points together, like move these points closer together, so that I have more of a sharper crease here. That's what I'm trying to do here. Like so. You can see a little bit more definition there. Especially if I move this point up, we get a nice tighter mesh, more definition. Oh, it's a bit too pointy. Its arms are a little bit too pointy. Better. Okay, so there's that, and there's our reference. We're looking pretty close. Pretty close. Want to... Again, there's this nice tight that ridge or that crease right there, so I can work on getting that in there by moving this down a little bit. This up, these points up. Getting a little bit more of a crease. Sweet Petri, have a good night, man. Thanks for dropping by. There's the arms. You know, before I do anything else, I've been working on this whole time and didn't save it once. That's some bad. That's some bad. Don't do that. Okay, so say the arms are good. Let's make this snout a little bigger. A little wider. Okay. So let's get last thing is dang legs. Get his dang legs in there. Actually make his ears smaller. Whoa, whoa. Need some like smooth jazz music or something playing in the background. I should have set up some stuff. What's some good modeling music? Classical music? I don't know. Need something. Need some kind of music here. Reggae. Don't worry about a thing. Even though I suck at modeling, everything's gonna be alright. Sweet Red Shark Russ. Good seeing you, man. Thanks for watching. Yeah, this will be this part will be archived. I'm not posting this anywhere. I don't want anyone to see that. This will be archived on Twitch. Maybe I'll post the archive of this on my YouTube channel. I don't know. We'll see. But when the texturing part, I will definitely post, because that doesn't involve me failing miserably at modeling. So now for the legs. I just screwed something up. I screwed something up in the back there. Yep. So there we go. And we're gonna move these up. And yeah, this will be the legs. So I'll do the same thing I did for the arms, where it looks like it's just like an extrude. I'll extrude this out. They look like legs already, actually. Let's do that again. Cool. And then to smooth out this part, I'm just gonna move some of these points up. You can't see the points, but if I hit Q and turn off the subdivision surface, you can see it's deactivated. Just toggling the Q, the old Q key. That kind of helps you see where all your points are. Just gonna like move some stuff around here. Actually, this is a nicer way to do this, so you don't get the subdivision surface in the way. Just move stuff out, and then kind of turn Q back on. Say okay. We'll need to move these over. Gotta move these points up. Definitely need more smoothing. So and you can see how like everything's so all over the place. What you really want to have is a nice smooth flow. You don't want like a point all the way out here. Like you want to make sure that if you drew a line, you can draw a nice smooth curve. You don't want to be like whoa or anything like that. So you want to have like a smooth mesh flow going on. Up. See what this looks like. Let's move the point up. So let's hit Q, and there's our subdivision surface activated again. Getting there. We're getting there. Are getting there. Thing I notice is his head. His head looks pretty squeezed. So what I'm gonna do is move this up just a tad. Again, we want to get that neck crease back in there, so I would adjust all this. So this is kind of my point with the mesh flow. You want a smooth curve going on. You don't want something like, unless you want cheeks or something like that. Like, okay, so we got cool. Cool. So there's that nice neck crease. Nice neck crease. Move this up. And then really, we're getting pretty close. Getting pretty close. I'm feeling a little bit better about this guy than I was previously. Again, if I would have started out differently. I mean, and this is good for me too, because you know, when you work on stuff, you figure out what works and what doesn't, and it's always helpful. So again, if you want this to give this little guy like a little belly, kind of like move these points out a little bit. A little chubby. Such a chubby gummy bear. So you see we got this nice belly going on. It's nice. Probably back here. Move this stuff in. Move out this side. So again, looking at my reference, getting close. Need this more rounded. So I'm going to work on kind of rounding that out. Move this up, move this up, move this up. Round everything out. This is looking better already. Cool. Cool. Almost done here. Nice. Okay. So, I don't know. I think that's okay. I think that's okay. It's just okay. Right. It looks like a bear to me, and hey. That's all you can really ask for. We just move all this stuff up a little bit. We've got flat bottom. Man, you get a wicked case of Whack-'em claw hand doing selecting points and crap for I've been casting for almost a couple hours. That's selecting and moving points, man, that hurts. It's like weight painting. Ugh. Weight painting is terrible. Got the same kind of thing. So what do you think? That looks like a bear. That looks okay. That's not bad. That's not bad. I feel way better now. But this would have made a terrible tutorial. So, move his head up like this. This will be like a special YouTube thing where you can watch it at 3 times, 5 times the speed or something like that. Just want to fix this ear. Ears are kind of bugging me. And using Q to turn off subdivision surface so I can see what's going on here. So, you know, without that on, you really wouldn't know what's happening here. But when you turn off subdivision surface, you can see, oh, well, that point's like down like that. So that's why it looks kind of weird. Start fixing stuff and making sure more square. This over. And probably get in here and move. Whoop. Fix this eye stuff. And making this more square. Like so. Accidentally selected some point back here. Yep. Zero out the X. And that should be back in spot. And again, when I talk about like smooth mesh flow, you can see how a smoother mesh flow should go like this. So I'm just going to move that point down. Kind of visualize the kind of arc